Well, I suppose you're wondering what clams have to do with Mother's Day. Most people don't even realize that there are boy and girl clams and that there are mother clams, but there are. They undergo a pregnancy, they carry their young to term, and then they allow themselves to be bitten by a predator to make sure their babies get a good start. The females produce thousands or millions of tiny larvae that have to attach to a particular kind of fish. They're obligately parasitic. And how are they going to get onto a fish? Well, this is when motherhood comes in again. The female mussel has a lure on the back end. The female is trying to attract the big fish, which is going to be the host for her babies. So a bass will come down and strike at this lure and break the marsupial gills open. A lucky few of them will contact the fish's gills, and within a couple of weeks they will become little baby mussels.
Being a bat mother is a little different than other species for a couple of different ways. One of which is that most of the species around here hibernate, and so they will actually mate before hibernation, and the sperm are stored inside the female, which is unusual. There are no other mammals that do that. In the springtime, when the female's done hibernating, she can just fertilize the eggs herself and fly off to where her summer habitat's going to be. Their maternity colonies are in trees, either a hole in a tree, or they'll find an big old tree like this where there's some dead branches or something and some of the bark is coming off, and they'll raise them all summer. Usually one pup at a time is all they can raise because it takes a lot of calories. The bats, in order to save energy, they find a very, very warm place for these maternity colonies. If their maternity colony is warm, then they don't have to spend their own energy trying to warm up the baby. That's how they identify a good spot for their summer maternity colony.
Baby birds are, in many cases, blind and no feathers and helpless. They have to be nurtured the whole time. The biggest thing they do is keep them warm. So they brood them, set on them, and just to keep them warm and dry until their feathers come in. And then when they're young, besides feeding them, they have to clean up after the birds too. So they actually take fecal pellets and they carry those away from the nest so that there's no smell, to try to keep predators away. Birds' parents have to, especially the females usually, have to take care of the nests in all kinds of weather. So you can get lightning and thunder and pouring rain and strong winds, and great examples of even like eagles being buried up to their neck in snow but sitting right there on the nest the whole time. So they're guarding them in all kinds of weather. They are watching for predators and taking care of predators and just protecting and keeping them warm and dry.